Now, the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa, or ICASA, has released their new termination rates for inter-network calls. From the 1st of March this year, it will drop to 20 cents per minute for small operators such as Cell C and Telkom Mobile. But bigger operators Vodacom and MTN will pay 44 cents per minute during calls to the smaller networks. Joining me in studio to discuss the implications of this is Dobek Pater, Managing Director at Africa Analysis. Dobek, welcome.
Thanks very much.
Now, the announcement at the end of last month is the second in a series of 3 termination rate packages by ICASA. What's the significance of this latest round of cuts, especially from a mobile perspective?
Yeah, we're looking, it's another so-called glide path. So it's a forward-looking view over 3 years plus. And the significance is, I think, it's number one, it's relatively steep. We knew ICASA would try probably to manage it towards what they deem to be cost base for the mobile operators to deliver services to each other, voice calls specifically, and I think more importantly the level of asymmetry. So it's very asymmetrical, which means that mobile operators are larger. Vodacom, MTN will end up paying on a per minute basis a lot more to the small operators, Cell C, Telkom Mobile, than vice versa. If we look at 2016, the asymmetry reaches something like 4-to-1. So large mobile operators were paying 4 times as much as the small operators. They will change a little bit after 2017 or from 2017 onwards, but those are the 2 significant points.
Now, that is quite steep, but when compared to international best practice, where is South Africa sitting at the moment and where are we going towards?
Well, we're going towards what other, I think, regulatory authorities globally are trying to do. Is their aim is to try and manage to a cost base, which means what does it cost an operator like MTN or Vodacom or Cell C or Telkom Mobile for that matter to deliver to accept services from another operator placing calls onto its network and to put that call through to their subscriber, the end user. Now, regulators, if it's 10 cents in South Africa, for instance, and it's very difficult to say what it is exactly. I think only the operators really know those costs, and sometimes not even that. The objective is to try and recover money by the operators rather than try to make a profit out of it. It's by the regulators see it as a cost that should be delivered free of profit by the operators to each other, and obviously to the benefit of everyone that uses those networks, those services. We started off at a very high point. I think especially when it comes to also asymmetry between the mobile environment and the fixed line environment. Over the past 3 years or so, we have reduced the rates quite considerably, but there's still what the regulator deems quite high, and we're probably moving in line with what we've seen in many markets around the world, particularly developed markets that have been pursuing that reduction for some time. I think important to notice is that normally these types of competitive enablers, because it's a competitive enabler, it allows smaller operators to be more competitive in the market, not to disadvantage them. That sort of a competitive enabler is normally implemented for the first few years of a small operator's existence. So in the case of Telkom Mobile, it's still a relatively new operation, only a few years in existence. Cell C has been with us for 12 years or more. So the argument is, should it really be implemented with Cell C, and will it help Cell C more importantly? Because when we look at global practices around the world, normally the first 3 years of an operator's existence are the critical years.
Yeah, after 12 years, that's a long time to now suddenly
obviously
catch up.
in the South African market, it was a little bit different in the sense that when Cell C emerged onto the scene and became an operator delivering services, the other mobile operators, MTN and Vodacom, increased the termination rates effectively out of their own accord. And one could argue for the formative years of Cell C, that asymmetry didn't exist. So Cell C was disadvantaged in the sense that it had to pay the same rates to MTN and Vodacom as vice versa, although its subscriber base was a lot smaller, so ended up paying a lot more in absolute terms, in rand and cent terms, to the other large operators. However, as you said, is it really going to help Cell C? We've just had 3 years of previous years of mobile termination rate reductions, where there was also an asymmetry in existence, although not quite as disparate as it is, diverse as it is now. One could argue it has helped Cell C on the one hand, it has not on the other. It has helped Cell C probably in expanding its subscriber base, gaining subscribers. However, when you look at, I think, the quality maybe of those subscribers in terms of ARPU.
Okay. Dobek, we're running out of time, but when we as consumers hear the word rate cut, we immediately want to know what this means for us. Now, the average South African consumer is petrol prices. We have the e-tolls, we have the rand tanking on us. What is this going to mean for us?
It's all bad news, I'm afraid, last year and this year. It doesn't necessarily translate automatically into tariff reductions for the end users, for the customers. It's a discretionary element in the price sort of cost element, and operators may or may not, at the discretion, pass it on to the consumer. We do not expect MTN and Vodacom to pass these any savings on to consumers.
Given that they're paying more?
Because they'll be paying more. Telkom indicated they probably will on the mobile side, certainly on the fixed line side. Cell C, we expect that they probably will. It may not be the full amount. Now, it depends on the strategy. The operator like Cell C may decide, yes, we want to become a lot more competitive, and we'll take the 20 cents and effectively cut it off the retail price. On the other hand, they may decide to keep part of it or even all of it as additional revenue that they don't have to now pay to the other operators. They keep it in order to boost their finances. I suspect they will reduce rates further. I'm not sure it will be the full amount, possibly not. As said, MTN and Vodacom will not do it until such time as they are forced by price competition to reduce rates in order to continue remaining competitive. So I think it's not clear-cut for the customer that it's an automatic savings. Some will benefit, some will not necessarily benefit.
It depends on which provider you're sitting with.
Yes.
Dobek, thank you very much.
Super, thanks.